Hello, Boozy Crew. We've had a special request for another video on how to combine the cards, which I thought was a great idea because you can never have enough practice doing that, right? So I thought today I would show you a technique of comparing the two cards. So I'm going to give them a shuffle. Make sure that I'm not muted because, okay, I recorded a video before and I was muted. That's always fun. All right, so I'm just gonna pick two random cards. Okay, first one, 7 of Wands. Next one, Strength. Okay, so one way to combine your cards to make them gel together in a reading is to compare them and see what they have in common. So in both of these cards, we have a figure. They're both standing. So that they're in action, they're doing something, they're not just sitting there like one of the kings, right? So these are cards of taking action. um let's look at the landscape. There is, let me just make sure I'm just looking. Yeah, interesting. There, I say interesting because a majority of the cards have like a river, a stream, an ocean. Neither one of these two. This might be a little bit of water. I'm trying to figure out. I think it's just like, if anything, it's just like little puddles, not a lot of water in these cards. Um, so not an overabundance of emotion. We're not going to be talking about like extreme emotional situations with these cards necessarily. Um, what else do they have in common? Well, both of those figures are having like an interaction with other creatures, right? In this case, we assume it's people holding these wands. In this case, it's the lion. So again, this idea of taking action, and being a part of a situation. Let me see if there's any other comparisons we can make between these cards. I don't know if you could hear that, but my little stray cat is howling outside. Okay, I think we're good on the objects that we've seen in the cards. And the idea of like the foliage too, like the flowers. There's the growth on the wands, and then she's got all sorts of beautiful shiz. So there's some growth there. All right, so how are we going to read these two cards together? Let's say somebody comes to you and they just want a general reading. They don't have a question. They're giving you nothing. I would say, well, let's look at this one first. We have some pushback, some either trying to defend yourself, stand up for yourself, um, pushing back against an idea, a situation, whatever. But then the strength card, I think, is what the guidance is on it, and that it's like you don't have to fight it. Like, I mean, okay, she has her hand in a lion's mouth. She's not scared. He looks a little, you know, very defensive. She's just like, okay, we're gonna deal with this. We're gonna go in without fear. We're gonna trust in the process. Um, and we're going to go about things from a more compassionate viewpoint, right? So that could be like you're reading there, like what are you fighting against in your life? And maybe there's a different way to go about it, a little bit more release, a little bit of trusting, and having faith that in your own abilities, and not getting so caught up in what everybody else is thinking. Should we do one more? Let's do one more. Okay, we have Page of Swords. And Nine of Wands. Okay, so again, single figures in both of these. Isn't that funny? No water in either one of these either. That's very funny. Okay, so no water. Let's see. Um, Landscape is pretty important in both of these, I would say. The clouds, the kind of tumultuous, windy day. And then here, the mountains in the back. Those seem to be important. They're both holding something, right? He's got a sword, he's got a wand. Look at how they're holding them. Actually very similar hand positions. Isn't that interesting? But the body language is different. Okay, so hold on, I'm gonna mute because I'm gonna sneeze. I'm back. All right. So again, let's say somebody comes to you, they don't have a question, they just want a general reading. You pull Page of Swords, you pull Nine of Wands. Just gotta take a look at these. You know, it's interesting. In this case, I might even say you have two options ahead of you looking at these two. Your Page of Swords, well, two options or two viewpoints about the whatever's going on, whatever situation. You may feel empowered and you're like, I'm just gonna get this shit done. I'm just gonna go for it. I'm gonna like make a decision now based on whatever information I have, and you know, so be it. It is what it is, and I'm just going in. I'm going in, and I'm gonna deal with it. Or you could be like, I don't know. I don't know what to do. I'm feeling a little afraid. I'm feeling like, oh, what if I make the wrong decision? I've fucked up in the past. I don't want to make the same mistakes. You know, what am I doing? What am I doing? That's probably the way I would do this. So then I would have to pull another card because um you know what I would do? I would pull two cards, one for each situation. All right, if you're gonna, you know, dive into whatever's going on, what do you need to know about that? Ooh, Ace of Cups. That might have a nice result. That's just like you're supported and you're loved. There may be some divine intervention coming in to help you with this, you know. It may make for a highly emotional situation. Be prepared for that, but it feels like this might be a good way to go about things. So let's see if you go the more hesitant route. If you're like, I don't know if I want to take a chance. What? Oh shit, we get the devil. All right. You hold yourself back. If you don't take a chance, you're going to be tied down. You're going to be chained to the man, right? And you may just be tempted by things that are not going to be your best options. So option one, go for it, my friends, right? So so there you go. That's a little glimpse at a way to combine cards, looking at what's similar, and then, you know, and then what's different too. And we didn't talk about colors. I'm not, you know what, I'm gonna make a note. I think we should do a class on colors coming up at some point, but that's another way that you could look at it too. So, all right, practice, practice, practice. That's how we get there, right? So have fun with this. Do a practice of your own and let me know in the comments what you come up with. All right. Bye, everybody.